Thank you for joining us for Headlines, your English program on the radio television of Burkina Faso from Ouagadougou. A village called Kourfael in the north of Burkina Faso at 7 kilometers from Djibo, not far from Mali border, was attacked by gunmen on Friday. The attack killed 2 people. Among victims, there is a primary school director. The spokesperson of the government showed the compassion of the government to the family of victims. Remy Fulgence Danjulu says measures have been taken to reinforce security patrol in this area. He also called on the population to collaborate with security forces. The story is by Umar Zombre.
This is the desolate spectacle after the assault launched on Tongomael police station and the city hall. 15 motorcycles, offices and documents were burnt. Many equipment have been stolen, of which a motor tricycle. This attack occurred during the night of Wednesday the 27th to the 28th. In both places, the perpetrators signed Ansarul Islam, hopefully that no one was killed or wounded during the attack of Tongomael, according to information grabbed on the ground.
Les tirs ont commencé à 23h50 et puis les tirs se multiplient puisque c'est pas un seul tir, mais bon, les tirs des armées.
We heard the gunshots at about 12 p.m. Then after, they got intensified because it wasn't a light but loud gunshot that we heard, probably from small and heavy weapons. Aggressors even walk on foot across the village. The gunshots stopped around 2 in the morning. They came on motorbikes, but some said that assailant parked a car not far before the attack, but I don't know if this is true. What I saw is motorbikes.
D'autres disaient qu'il y avait un véhicule qui était garé derrière la porte, comme on n'a pas vu le véhicule, mais les motos.
After Tongomael, another district, always in the same geographical area, was assaulted. There, terrorists attacked the prefecture and the city hall of Jigel. At the city hall, assailants robbed computers and $70 US money. Before Jigel, the aggressors first perpetrated an attack on Barabule police station, located at about 25 kilometers from Jigel. As you can see, the wall, full of bullet impacts, testifies how savage this attack has been. Nobody was killed, but a woman got a slight injury. According to information, those attacks are a kind of retaliation of the terrorists. During the visit of the Chief of Army Staff in this location, he met some paramilitary and military authorities, and following it, some of them have been threatened. As if this wasn't enough, yesterday Friday, gunmen shot a primary school headmaster. After this killing, they didn't stop there. They killed another person in the same village. For the time being, investigations are carried by armed forces to find and punish the perpetrators. Authorities call population to cooperate and tell on any suspect individual.
Delegations of the EU and the UN got an interview President of Faso this week in Ouagadougou. Both institutions dealt with cooperation issue with President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore.
In my discussions in particular with the Minister of the Economy, but also now with the President, is to see how we can maybe in our cooperation, our bilateral cooperation, be able to target more this sector, which is not only a sector, is a way to approach the development of the countries. And therefore we will see if in the framework of what we call the midterm review of our engagement here, of our instrument, we can give culture, job creation, social cohesion, peace creation can be further developed, having in mind that Burkina is a center of excellency for that. It's not only a place where things happen, it's a place where things are created, and therefore we can do more on this. This is the first part. Therefore, I was at the opening, the stadium. I've been there. I will go now to another important project which is called Ethical Fashion here, which is creating employment, and for which we have, through the Trust Fund for Migration, invested 10 million euro in order to create jobs. The plan is to create 7,000 jobs between Burkina and Mali in developing this creative industry. But the second point is to have at the same time with the President, with the government, a frank discussion about which is the state of our cooperation in order to do it better, in order to support the process of reform. In particular, justice, social integration, addressing the vulnerabilities of the countries like decentralization, like access to services, and demography.
We had a very good discussion about the challenges in the region. They're well known to all of you, and how we can work together to help the Burkina Bay and your neighbors overcome the regional challenges in terms of security. I had the opportunity to express on behalf of the United Nations our appreciation, the appreciation of the Secretary General himself for the role that the Burkina Bay Blue Helmets play in the situation in Mali and participating in the peacekeeping effort in Mali. I also congratulated His Excellency the President on the important success of the Paris Conference, where donors came forth with promises of assistance to Burkina Faso, and I noted that we will encourage these donors to make good on their promises and make resources available to help the Burkina Bay authorities achieve their objectives in terms of consolidating the peace and reconciliation here in Burkina Faso. The United Nations is committed to working with the authorities of the country, of working with civil society, and working with all of the key actors in promoting a prosperous and peaceful future for the people of Burkina Faso.
Several films in competition at the 25th edition of FESPACO were shot during this week in Ouagadougou. Among the films, we could watch La Forêt de Nioula, or The Nioula Forest, a film by Adama Rama from Burkina Faso. President of Faso Roch Macrissa Kabori watched the film at Sydney Nerwaya. The film is dealing with the cupidity of a man over environment and human being. Just after watching, the head of state says they find the topic of the film interesting and full of symbol. Before the official award, the Etalon de Yenega that will be known at the closing ceremony, special awards were given on Friday. On 12 award given, 4 went to Burkina filmmakers. Frontier by Apolline Traoré won the ECOWAS and the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Award, and Jérôme Ouedraogo, a young filmmaker, received 2 awards with his film dealing with street children. During this 25th edition of FESPACO, 11 African filmmakers were decorated this week by authorities of Burkina Faso. This decoration is to encourage but also to pay tribute to all those who are working to promote African cinema. Cinema stakeholders hold a symposium in the framework of this 25th edition of FESPACO. After 2 days of talks, different actors of the African cinema came up with a statement. The statement calls on for cooperation between African schools of cinema and a substantial funding of the cinema of the continent. They also asked for the building of more cinema rooms on African continent.
This year is the 25th festival, so we are hoping to see a lot of challenge, and coming here, it was an opportunity to see from 15 years now, what do we get from this festival, and where we are going now for the generation to come, and see new cineas, how with the project they have. So this was good.
It's a nice one this year because we've seen so many new movies from all around Africa, and I'm very happy to be here to see, and you can see that so many televisions, so many countries coming from Europe, America, interested in the FESPACO. So the FESPACO is bigger and bigger every year. So the FESPACO is one of the best festivals in the world now. So as filmmaker, you need to be in that place every year. So I hope we've been here with RTB Distribution, our distributor, and we hope to earn some prizes for our country.
Since 1979, Congolese people doesn't have any representative here for the MICA, so we just came to present our work that we do in Congo Brazzaville, and here we just we came with few of our works to show people that Congolese people do cinema, does movies, so that's why we came here to do. The FESPACO is a huge and very important manifestation, if we can say that, for our movie industry in Africa, because we see each other here. all the countries around Africa see each other here, and we can be allowed about what other country does and what we can figure out to work together.
Thank you for watching. Stay connected to Radio Television of Burkina Faso from Ouagadougou to enjoy your weekend. See you next time and take care.